Welcome back to part 2. I'm Isabel O'Brien and we're continuing our discussion with today's guest. Let's get straight back into it.
Digging into the meat of the topic now, I think we should begin with patients because they are ultimately at the core of this discussion. So who, in your eyes, are the most vulnerable patients that are supported by ECMO today, and what are their biggest unmet needs?
Yeah, let me tell you what ECMO means. ECMO means extracorporeal membrane oxygenation. And this is the ability to providing an alternative functionality to the heart and the lung of the patients when these are not working. And this is offering a life support to those patients who need eventually to go for a future treatment. So it's buying the time from the clinician perspective for those hearts and lungs to recover or to find an alternative solution. And ECMO bridge that time. One of the key unmet needs for those patients is really accessibility. Advancing the access to such advanced life-saving support, ensuring more patients can benefit from ECMO procedure. This is what is really most unmet need. And the VitaFlow ECMO system that Medtronic brings today in the market is that system that bridges the gap between the bedside care and the intra-hospital transport, offering those physicians and clinicians a simple, fully integrated ECMO portfolio. It's purpose-built to meet the complex and evolving demand of the modern intensive care unit.
Expertly put. Thank you. So who would you say are the most vulnerable patients? Are we talking, I imagine the pediatric side of this must be quite intense.
Those are as well part of the population. Probably you remember in the adult patient category, when COVID happened, not many doctors knew how to treat the lung failure. And in many of those cases, ECMO was a solution to stop the functionality of the lungs, bypassing that through this ECMO system, and give the time for the patients either to heal or for the doctors to find a solution. But it's good for pediatric and adult.
Perfect. Gosh, coming in at a really vital time there. Definitely, it takes a pandemic to show you what technology can do. So I'm sure this will come as no surprise to anyone listening, but intensive care units are becoming increasingly complex and demanding, much busier. How are clinicians today having to adapt, and how can industry best support them?
Yeah, definitely the intensive care unit teams are facing complex and evolving demands, especially because they are living in a high acuity environments, and the usability of ECMO system may directly influence their quality of care. Therefore, adapting to that environment is very important because the clinicians needs to focus on the patient care rather than relying on the technology. And if a system like VitaFlow can help reducing that cognitive or physical load to let the healthcare professional to focus on the patients, that's exactly what is needed. And in order to do that, the user-friendly VitaFlow system features a very large, intuitive touch screen. It helps to centralize real-time performance data, offers configurability, and is built for acute cardiopulmonary needs and even long-term performance, incorporating also some previously launched Medtronic technology like the Nautilus ECMO oxygenator design. So the industry really needs to deliver this kind of ECMO system, simple, configurable, and fully integrated platform. And those have to be centralized for real-time data and offer that configurability that are built for acute cardiopulmonary needs and long-term performance.
Gosh, yeah. I think a lot of it, at the end of the day, whenever you're using technology like this, when it is this life-saving, crazy piece of kit, you just want to know deep down that this is going to work. This is giving me safety of mind, that I know that I can rely on this software to make sure that my patient has the best opportunity. So yeah, great to see that times are adapting and the industry is looking to support the outflow of these.
And if I can add, Jade, technology plays a major and relevant role in this part, but also the education and the support from the industry to those clinicians plays a major role. Just to give you an idea, not even a month ago, we developed in Medtronic what is called the ECMO Mobile. ECMO Mobile is a true lab emulating an ICU and intensive care units. This is on wheel, on a truck, and is going to be traveling around Europe for the next 12 months, touching the hospitals. We are planning more or less 60 plus hospitals in the next 12 months in more than 20 countries to really go and train the nurses, the intensivists, all the health professionals, the perfusionists that are around ECMO in these labs. So we bring the education to the hospital doors. That will help a lot in addressing those challenges in their daily life in the ICU complexity environment.
Sure. That's amazing. That's such a cool initiative. There's so much. Yeah. I mean, what the other option, I suppose, is sitting down with pages and pages of instructions on how to use this. So yeah, that's a really cool initiative to see. I wish more companies would do exciting, creative things like that. So ECMO obviously has been around for a while, but it's transformed dramatically since its early use all those decades ago. What do you see as the pivotal milestones that have, marked this technology's progress from inception to, further down the line to today?
So the roots of ECMO are traced back from the beginning of the 70s. And we are speaking when the father of ECMO, Dr. Robert Bartlett, that unfortunately recently passed away. It was only a week ago that happened. He firstly utilized ECMO on an adult in the 1972. And he did this treatment as a groundbreaking moment. And it was true because not only of his strong scientific vision, but also extraordinary courage. Because at that time, the technology was still at this very, I would say, infancy. And this bold step marked the beginning of a new era of critical care. Only few years later, there was another defining moment for ECMO, and that was in 1975. There was a very critical ill newborn. She is known as Baby Esperanza. And I tell you, I had the beautiful experience exactly 1 year ago to meet her in person 50 years later, very healthy and very smiling. And at that time, still Dr. Bartlett connected her up to an ECMO machine, and she was only 20 hours old. And after 6 days of support given to her lungs that were not developed, helped really recover enough to function by their own. And that was a breakthrough event for ECMO, and especially entering in the pediatric care. But that is not all, in the sense that there have been quite few years of experimentation since then, until we arrived to 1991. Still the vision of Dr. Bartlett led to funding, together with an engineer, Scott Merce, a company called MC3, Michigan Critical Care Consultant. And that was a company that was only dedicated to develop very safe, high-performing ECMO technologies. Now, if we fast forward from 1991 to 2024, after 8 years of exclusive partnership between Medtronic and this MC3 company, Medtronic decided to announce the full acquisition of MC3. And that was a major milestone because in those 8 years of partnership before the acquisition, 6 new ECMO dedicated products were launched by MC3. And today in 2025, we now launch the full ECMO tip solution with VitaFlow in 2025. So those are, according to me, the major milestones that really characterize the ECMO journey.
Amazing. It's great to see how far it's come. And yeah, it must be so rewarding to meet the people that are impacted by that technology with obviously grown-up baby Esperanza. It's not every day that you actually get to meet the people that are impacted by the work. So that must have been really, really rewarding for you guys.
It's been really a convalidation of the efforts everyone does, seeing a patient 50 years later smiling, healthy, and it gives us the proof that we can contribute, whatever is an engineer, a clinical doctors, working together in a collaborations can make the difference.
Absolutely agree with you there. So we've touched on quite a few things here. I'd love to round off this with talking about getting this technology out there. Do you feel that new innovations are reaching ICU teams quickly and effectively enough? And if not, where do you think more collaboration or support could make a difference?
We are in a development journey, and I believe there is always areas to improve and make the technology arriving into the ICU as quicker than where we are today. One of the major things I would like to highlight here is that it's important to collaborate directly in a very with the clinicians in a very early stage of designing a technology. And this is the best way to arrive to the ICU teams with solutions which are relevant for them. It's not only about the timing, it's about the quality, and it's about addressing their needs. To give you an example, before launching VitaFlow in the market, this tip-to-tip ECMO solution, we collected 900 customer inputs, perfusionist, intensivist. We conducted more than 50 feasibility testing to refine the design of the VitaFlow system, and we engaged more than 22 centers across the world. And only after distilled all those hundreds of inputs, we defined the guiding principles for the design of this technology. And then after that, we came to the market. So time is relevant, but still even more important is taking the right timing to developing meaningful technology addressing the needs of the clinicians.
Completely agree. It's great to see how much of your career, or not only your career, but the company's ideals have revolved around that collaboration and getting in early and really having these conversations with end users. It's what sets you up for success, I think, in any institution. So yeah, amazing. Thank you.
And that wraps up part 2. Thanks for listening. Be sure to join us for part 3, where we will continue the discussion.